There she goes. Letting everyone adjust their cameras. Give y'all time. Take your time, do it. Perfect. All right. We are all good now. Oh, we got one more. Arnell, you sure you don't need to adjust your camera? All right. All right. Thanks for the good laugh. That was funny. We'll get started. Please make sure that you are not leaning back in your chair. You're tall, you're upright. We're going to go right into our sitting Tadasana, seated mountain pose. So look down, look for that imaginary line. Cross the toes, one foot's not further in front of the other foot. Good. Press the heels down, lift the toes. The toes come back down very gently. Keep pressing through the heels. Notice your default, right? So one thing that I brought up yesterday in class that I want to bring up today in class as well is a lot of you, most of you have been coming to class for a really long time. And although we still will go to that same default, notice if you are closer to neutral than you used to be as we continue to go through classes. Like you used to be, your default was to really lean forward. Maybe you notice you're not leaning forward quite as much. So something to pay attention to. And then rock forward and back on the pelvis a little bit so that you do find your neutral, which again, the more you do will start to become easier and easier to find that. And when you do find it, then you stay there. And press those heels down again, lift up from the pubic bone all the way up the spine. Let the shoulders pull back, let the elbows pull in. So you get this nice broadening through the chest and collarbones. Good. And then also notice if your chin is jutting forward, right? You're going to pull it back and down just a little bit so that the back of the neck lengthens, the crown of the head can lift up. And then let your eyes close. And going ahead with those 3 sighs here. So 3 cleansing breaths. Just breathing in through the nose. Opening the mouth, sighing out through the mouth. And doing that 3 times at your own pace. And then after you take those 3 sighs, just allowing the breath to come in and out only through the nose. Noticing the breath as it comes in and observing whether the breath is more towards the inner nostril or the outer nostrils, like the medial part or the lateral part. And also noticing how the breath is warm when it comes out. And just paying attention to that for a little bit. Another thing to notice on the inhalation is which nostril seems to be more dominant, right? So certainly we're breathing through the left and the right nostril throughout the day, but it is not equal. So we go through a nasal cycle, which switches nostril dominance every couple of hours. And so maybe just noticing for you right now, if the left or the right nostril seems to be taking in more air. And doing your best, even as we start moving around, to keep your focus, your awareness on the breath. Notice how the breath changes as we move around, maybe becomes faster, maybe it becomes more shallow. But regardless of how you're breathing in any particular moment, using that breath to keep you grounded in the present moment. It's a wonderful tool for remaining mindful, which we have been working on for a few weeks now. Just being mindful. And then when you're ready, slowly letting the eyes start to flutter back open. No big rush. Awesome. All right. So we are going to bring our feet just a little bit wider apart. And we're not really doing anything with the legs right now. But this is to give you just a little bit more stability. Okay. So you're going to reach your arms down by your sides. And I want you to take your left arm and turn the palm away from you. And you're going to lift that arm up on an inhale. On an exhale, you're going to bring it over across the body. On an inhale, you're going to bring it back up. You're going to turn the palm and then exhale, bring it all the way back down. Okay, so your breath, your pace, just remember you're inhaling as you're coming up, you're exhaling as you lean, you're inhaling as you come up, and you're exhaling as you drop back down. Of course, modifying this might look like inhaling here, right? You might exhale and just lean a little bit. You might inhale and come back to center and exhale and come back down. So that would be a modification for you. Another modification, if that bending over isn't comfortable, you can always bring that arm in front of you and bend. Okay. So just offering some different ways to do this, especially if there's tightness in that area kind of between the chest and the back. Good. So for my count, at least, we're doing one more. And then once you do that one more, of course, we're going to switch sides. So right palm turns away from you. You're going to inhale, reach that arm up. You're going to exhale, just slightly bend it over. And then you'll inhale, bring it back up. Turn the palm, exhale, bring it all the way back down. Right? So one movement, but two breaths per movement. Good. And also remembering my favorite quote, we are bilateral, not symmetrical. So one side might be very different than the other. You might be doing something different on this side. You might have more or less range of motion on this side, right? So just remember those modifications. Good. And then again, for my count at least, I've got one more. Beautiful. And we're going to come right into, it's not so much barrel rolls, right, where we're moving in the waist and in the belly button, but I kind of want you to move like your whole torso. So torso is going to come around and forward and around and back. You can let your back arch and round in any ways that feel good. And this is just a little low back release. And then, of course, go the other direction. So doing things like this with the kind of spinning, swaying, really good for the inner ear. And we know our inner ear is very in control of our balance. So kind of working on balance, even though we're not on one leg. The sneaky way to get it in, I guess. Good. So I'm going to do one more circle here. Beautiful. And then come all the way back up to sit comfortably. Bring your feet back so they're hip distance apart. Work a little bit on core now. And the only reason I say that is because we're going to be moving our legs, but I want you to really focus on what is going on in your core. So it's the torso that is staying strong, the back, the abs, okay, this whole space. You might lean forward just a little bit. Okay, modification for this is just to lift your right or your left heel, sorry. So you can just lift your left heel or you can lift your leg all the way up. Okay, you can hold behind the leg. You can reach the arms out to the side. If the arms are out to the side, it's a lot harder. Okay, even if your toes are on the floor and the heel is lifted, reaching the arms out to the side is going to bring a little more challenge to the core. And your breathing, don't forget to focus on your breath. Good. Let that leg come down. We're going to go to the right side. So maybe you lift your heel. Okay. Maybe you lift the leg up. Maybe your arms stay out. Good. Everybody that I can see, your arms are out. So breathe. Okay, stay connected to the now. Awesome. Bring it back down. We're just going to do that one more time each side. So bring that left leg up. Awesome. Breathe, of course. And then bring that left leg down and then coming to the right side, bring that right leg up. Love it. And bring it down. So you're gonna bring your arms back down onto your thighs. We're gonna do something with the arms out again. I just wanted to give them a quick little rest. So maybe we'll take a few shoulder rolls here. Good. All righty. So bring those arms back out to the side and really ground down through your feet. Okay. So heels are pressing down, balls of the feet are pressing down, but try not to grip too much with the toes. And this is going to be a small movement. Again, it's all core. Okay. So kind of reach over. I mean, it's like 3 inches, it's not far to the right. Keep the chest nice and high. Bring yourself back to center. Reach over to the left. And again, it's a little tiny amount. Good. And then you'll come back up, roll the shoulders back and down, reach to the right again. It's not much, it's a tiny amount. Bring it back up. Good. Reach to the left. Good. Bring it back and take those arms down. We'll give them a break, but we are going to come back to the arms being out in a moment. So let's do a few cat cows just so you can kind of give those arms and those muscles a break. Remember, cat cows start with the tailbone, try to end with the head, one vertebra at a time. So tailbone comes forward, round the low back, the middle back, the upper back, drop the head. And then reverse that. Inhale, lift the tailbone, arch the low back, the middle back, the upper back, lift the head. Modify if you want by not lifting the head and just looking straight forward. And then making your way back to neutral. So not in the default, but in neutral. Let's do a quick twist. Inhale, reach those arms nice and high. You're going to exhale and twist to the right. Right hand comes behind you, left hand outside that knee. Twist. You can look over your back shoulder if it's comfortable for you to do that. You don't have to, though. Good. As you exhale, bring yourself back to center. As you inhale, reach those arms nice and high again. And as you exhale, twist, go the other direction. And then breathe. Good. Exhale, bring it back to center. We're going to do that one more time. Each side. Inhale, reach high. Exhale, twist. Use the core, right? Maybe you twist a little slower. Use the core. Maybe you focus a little less on pulling with your hands and instead let the belly come in, let the chest lift, twist any amount more. You'll get more of a twist in the upper back. Beautiful. Exhale, bring it back to center. Awesome. Inhale, reach it high. And exhale, twist to the left. And again, maybe focusing less on really using your hands to get you into that twist, but more on the core, the torso, right? So the belly is coming in. Maybe you twist a little bit more using the muscles of the torso. And you'll find sometimes that twist goes up a little bit higher. Good. Bring yourself all the way back to center. So we're going to kind of tap into that movement, but this time we're going to reach our arms out to the side. This is not a big twist at all, okay? I want you to pretend you've got a block in between your thighs. I know some of you bring props. You're welcome to put a block in between the thighs. So you're going to squeeze that block, that imaginary block, and you're going to try not to let your hips move. So I don't want one knee coming way in front of the other knee. Chest nice and high, press through the heels, squeeze your imaginary block, and just start to twist a little bit. Taking your right arm behind you, left arm coming forward. And again, it's not big. It's a tiny, tiny little twist. And you have to breathe because we want to hold our breath in twists. I know. Good. Bring it back to center. And then you're going to twist to the left. Good. So left arm coming behind you, any amount, right arm coming towards the front of the mat, any amount. Beautiful. Bring yourself back to center. Release those arms down. Now we're coming into those barrel rolls. So unlike what we did a moment ago, where our whole torso was coming forward, you're just trying to make that circle initiate in the waist. Think about it initiating in the belly button. For most of us, they're in the same area, the same line. Good. And reverse it. Other direction. Good. Bring yourself back to center. Let's bring it into a child's pose. So always remember, you don't want to lay your chest on your thighs. You can modify. But the idea is that in this pose, your back is rounded, right? If you think of child's pose on the floor, the back is rounded. So that's the action I'm trying to get here. If you are okay putting your chest on your thighs, you're going to let your arms drop down, let your head drop down. So while you're in this child's pose, your head is heavy, your head is down. I want you to take some of those sighs, right? Same kind of sighs that you took in the beginning of the class. You breathe in through the nose and you sigh out through the mouth, and you will likely find some parts of the body release that maybe you weren't expecting a release. It might be the neck, anywhere in the spine, the back. And then you're just going to roll yourself back up. Again, thinking kind of one vertebra at a time. And once you get up, roll those shoulders back again, let the elbows pull back and in. Awesome. And you are going to reach your arms straight up. So this is called Urdhva Hastasana, upward salute pose. And even if your arms are out here in front of you, I want you to try to straighten your elbows as much as you can, right? So if coming up here, it's too hard to straighten the elbows, you're just going to drop your arms in front of you a little bit, but keep the chest really expanded. Think of your shoulder blades being like the plate of a light socket on the wall, okay? And your ribs are the wall. So you're going to push those shoulder blades forward so that they go onto that wall, onto the ribs, and then reach a little more through the fingertips. Okay, doing that, you're going to feel more activation in the back. Right? Could be the upper back. For me, it's the upper back and the middle back that I feel that activation. But I have a really weak back too. So see where you feel it for you. Breathe. And release it all the way back down. Lovely. All right, so we're going to stand up now. Of course, grab water. I always like for you guys to take a little sip of water when we transition going from down to up or up to down. And we're not going to go right into sun salutations. We're going to get there, but if your chair's in your way, move it or just stand next to your chair. And just very briefly, because we've done this a lot, I want to go through standing mountain. So true Tadasana pose. Your feet hip distance apart, right? Look down at that imaginary line. One foot is not further in front of the other foot. So lots of alignment today. You're going to lift your toes up, spread them wide, bring your weight back a little bit, right? Don't fall back, but bring your weight back a little bit so you're pressing through the heels a lot and really feel the quads engage, and then let those toes come back down. Now squeeze that imaginary block, right? We talked about that earlier. Squeeze the imaginary block a lot, okay? If you're like me and you're someone who locks, I'm a locker in my joints, you want to squeeze that block, but make sure you have a little softness in the knees because they're going to want to lock. Tailbone drops down and you're going to feel the low belly come in and you're going to feel the ability to lift up more through the front. Good. Pull the shoulders back. Yes, love it. Beautiful. Good. Keep pulling the shoulders back. Bring those elbows back just a little bit. And then you're going to lift the arms. Don't change anything but the arms. Lift the arms, come back to the upward salute pose. Beautiful. Try to straighten the elbows as much as you can, even if the arms come forward. But think about that analogy I made a moment ago, right? Take the plate of the light socket and push it right against that wall. Feel the lower tip of the shoulder blades come forward onto the ribs, open through the chest. Legs are super strong, right? I just found myself locking again. So again, if you're a locker, keep really close attention to that. Squeeze the imaginary block, press through the feet. It doesn't look like you're doing much, but this is a very, 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 very strong pose, right? Good. Breathe. We're almost done, I promise. Awesome. Go ahead and take those arms down. Roll the shoulders a couple of times. Give them a little bit of a break. Awesome. All right, because we're coming back to this. So keep the legs how they are. Reach out. Press through the heels. Squeeze that block. Tailbones down. And we're going to do that twist. So pay attention that the hips don't move, just like when you were in the chair. And it's a tiny twist. You just move a little bit, right hand going back, left hand going forward. But you should feel this in the core. So the belly's pulling in, right? You're using your back, your lats, your shoulder blade area. And then you're bringing it back to center. And then you're going to go to the other side, right? So left arm's coming back a little bit, right arm is coming forward a little bit, but you're using the muscles of the torso, right? So when people say core, I know they always think of belly, right? A lot of today is back. It's part of the core too. We forget about it. Good. Bring it back to center. Release that down. Very Very nice. Roll the shoulders. Okay. Another thing to think about is if we want our core to be strong and not overburdened, our legs have to be strong as well. Okay. So keep squeezing that block, keep pressing through the heels, and you are going to take your arms in front of you. Palms are going to face forward. I want you to pretend like there's something really, really, really heavy in front of you. Okay. And you can only move your arms to push it away. So you're going to push it away. You're going to engage the muscles, push it away. And then you're going to flip the palms, curl the fingers, and then you're going to pull it back. Okay. So this is all kind of contracting your muscles, using your imagination, pretending that you've got something really heavy in front of you. You've got to push it away and then you got to pull it back. Good. So that means you're also kind of in charge of how much engagement you're going to feel in the back, in the arms, in the shoulders, and the legs are strong. Again, softness in the knees. Be super mindful of that if you're a locker. Good. Let's do one more pushing away. And we're going to do one more pulling it back. Beautiful. Release that down. Now we're going to go into our sun salutations. So, of course, come to your chair. Make sure that the seat of the chair is facing you. One thing I love about sun salutations, especially when we do this kind of more static work in the beginning, is it really opens the body up. Okay. So you're still in that Tadasana, that mountain pose. I won't go over it a ton, but heels down, legs strong, tailbone down, belly in and up. Inhale, reach the arms nice and high. Good. Exhale, come to your forward fold. Beautiful. Bend your right knee, lift your left arm, twist. Switch sides, bend the left knee, lift the right arm, twist. Awesome. Bring it back to center, walk it back, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha. So when you come to your down dog, notice if one foot's further in front of the other. It's something to be aware of. Good. Bring it forward. Warrior one, Virabhadrasana one. So right knee's bent, left leg is back. Push through that back leg. Figure out where you want your arms. Maybe they're tired and you keep them on your hips or on the chair. Maybe you want to keep working. You lift the arms up. Good. So if your arms are not in the chair, I would say to go back to those shoulder blades, press the shoulder blades forward, open through the chest, engage the back. Awesome. Take the hands down, bring it back, downward facing dog. And then left leg forward, warrior one. Bend the left knee. Determine where you want your arms. Good. If they're tired, keep them down. Okay. If you do lift your arms, whether they're up, whether they're out to the side. So if they're out to the side, turn the palms forward. And you're going to press those shoulder blades onto the ribs. Lift through the chest. Breathe. Right. Notice the fact that you are breathing. Beautiful. Take the hands down and come into your forward fold. Right leg forward, left leg back. Stay here and rest. If you want chair pose, take weight into the heels, drop the hips. Maybe you lift the arms out in front of you, right? You've got that imaginary block, squeeze it. If you have a real block, put it in between those legs, squeeze it. Right? And notice the core. Notice the core here because that's our focus today. In all these positions. Belly is in, low back is happy, not arched. Good. Everybody inhale, rise and shine. Bring it all the way up. And exhale, take it to the heart. Good. We're going to do one more. Inhale, reach, just like that. Exhale, forward fold. Bend your right knee, lift your left arm, twist. Good. And bend your left knee, lift your right arm, twist other direction. Beautiful. Back to center. We'll walk it back. Adho Mukha, down dog. In this down dog, pull the belly in. Press the shoulder blades onto the back ribs. That's going to open your chest. Going to engage the back. Push the hips back. Any amount. Okay. We're going to be here just a moment. If I were teaching in a in-class, in-person class, sometimes I walk around with a belt and I'll put it around that area where the thigh and the hips meet, the hip crease, and I will pull the hips back with that belt. So imagine someone doing that. They're pulling the hips back. Awesome. Look forward, warrior one, right side. If you want to lengthen the stance, just step that left foot back a little bit. Right knee might bend a little deeper. Right? Maybe the arms are tired. Keep them down or lift them up. Go ahead, press down through the feet and then lift the chest a little higher. Again, that's going to engage the back, right? For the chest to lift, the back has to come forward. Beautiful. Take those hands down. Bring it back, down dog again. Again, you're imagining that I'm behind you and I have a belt and I'm putting it right there in the hip crease and I'm just ever so gently pulling your hips back, pulling them back, maybe an inch. And you get this really nice release. So just feel that happening. Imagine that you can do that and then try. Awesome. Left leg forward, warrior one. Good. Left knee's bent. If you want to lengthen it a little bit, make it a little harder. Right foot comes back a little further. Left knee bends a little deeper. Good. So from what I see, everyone's arms are up. Press the shoulder blades forward, open through the chest. Think of taking all your back muscles and pushing them towards the front body. Beautiful. Take the hands down. Come into your forward fold. Stay in forward fold or take your chair. Right? Drop the hips. You might reach the arms out in front. And we're going to do one more sun salutation with an add-on after this. And then we'll be getting towards relaxing. Beautiful. Inhale, rise and shine. Bring it all the way up. Exhale, bring it to the heart. Love it. Inhale, reach. And exhale, fold, forward fold. Right knee's going to bend, left arm's going to lift. Don't bend your right knee and lift your left knee. That'd be really tricky. Good. Switch sides. Left knee's going to bend, right arm's going to lift. Twist. Beautiful. Bring it back to center. Walk it back, down dog. All right. So you got me behind you. I'm pulling the hips back. It might be like a millimeter, really. Any amount back is going to help you really open up. Helps you open up the back of the legs. It helps you open up the low back. It gives you a bigger stretch all together throughout the torso. Awesome. Right leg comes forward. Warrior one. Last warrior one on the right side here. Good. Make sure you can see that right big toe as always. All right, so you're going to keep your legs where they are, but bring your hands to the chair, coming into a high lunge. So remember the only difference between warrior one, high lunge. Warrior one, your left heel is on the ground. High lunge, your left heel is up. So you just kind of turn the foot so that the left toes are pointing forward. Okay, you might stay here. Okay, I consider high lunge a balance pose, even though both feet are on the floor. Push back a lot through the left leg, just like you would in warrior one. Maybe you come to your fingertips. Maybe you feel balanced and strong and you take your hands to your hips. Push back a lot through the left leg, a lot, tremendously. You also have the option of lifting your left arm if you want to increase the stretch on the left side. We're not here super long. Beautiful. Take the arms down. Bring it back, down dog. Last down dog. Pretend I'm behind you. I've got that belt, that rope, and I'm just pulling back, bifurcating the body. Awesome. Left leg forward. Warrior one, left side. Last warrior one on this side. Last warrior one, period, actually. Good. All right, so I see everyone's arms are up. Reach the chest forward, engage the shoulder blades, push them forward. Right, let the light socket plate go flat up against that wall. Awesome. Take the hands down, come into that high lunge. So all you got to do is come up onto the ball of the right foot. And before you do anything else, right, push back through the left leg, just like you did, or through the right leg, sorry, just like you did in warrior one. So you're pushing back, pushing back. Good. And then if you want to come to your fingertips, you can. You want to come to your hips, you can, as long as you feel balanced, strong. And then if you want to lift the right arm, you're going to get a bigger stretch. You can do that. Love it. Go ahead and take that hand, both hands down, and come into your forward fold. And then if you want to take chair, last chair opportunity that we're going to have today, bend those knees, sit the hips way back, right? Arms might lift. So your weight's in your heels. Your weight is so far in your heels, you can lift your toes and you can keep them up the whole time you're in chair pose. And if the weight is too far forward, it puts a lot of strain on the knee, and then you're not actually engaging your quads and your glutes like you need to. Beautiful. Inhale, rise and shine all the way back up. Exhale, take it to the heart. Very, very good. So we will do tree pose. We got to balance and then get ready to relax. All righty. So if you're using your chair for tree pose, of course, make sure it's close by. And I am standing on the left side of my chair. My chair is to the right. And my right leg is going to be my standing leg. And then I'm going to take my left leg out to the side. You might be in kickstand. You might come to your calf. You might come to your inner thigh. Good. Left hand can come to heart. Maybe you come to the fingertips on the right hand. Maybe you bring both hands together in front of the heart. Maybe you lift the arms. Just know the more you move, the harder this is. And the more your eyes move around, the harder it is. So you are super focused, uber focused. Slowly release out of that. Great, very nice. And then you'll hop it on over to the other side. So now I'm standing to the right side of my chair. Chair's on my left. My left leg's gonna be my standing leg. And then find where you wanna be, right? Kickstand, calf, inner thigh. It doesn't really matter. You're balancing regardless. And then right hand can come to the heart. Maybe you come to your fingertips on the left hand. Maybe both hands come to heart. Maybe both arms lift up. Right? But we worked a lot on our legs being strong. so that our core doesn't take so much of the brunt. So right now your legs are strong and your core is strong. Let them work in unison. Beautiful. Really sit down. Good job, guys. Y'all are looking good. All righty. So, we don't do a pigeon pose or anything like that because we didn't do a bunch of leg stuff. So I want you just to find your comfy spot right now. We'll get comfortable. Lay down. I'm a little chilly, so I'm going to put on my fuzzy socks. Mm. I'd like to give you a few moments to get in your spot, to get relaxed, cover up with a blanket. Just make sure that you are very comfortable. And when you do that, when you get to that point, you are going to just notice the breath in the same way that you did in the beginning of class. Maybe first just noticing the fact that you're breathing and how rarely we pay attention to our breath, how it feels, its depth, its speed. Notice on the inhalation, once again, which nostril is dominant. So the nostril dominance, it typically changes about every 3 hours. So you might still have the same nostril dominant, or you may have switched nasal cycles throughout our practice today. Just depending on your own body. So something to observe again. And use the exhales to soften any parts of the body that maybe have unnecessary tension. We find that the exhalation is where we are able to really release and let go. And in this posture, this relaxation space that you're in, you want to feel relaxed but also alert. And as your eyes close, you might just take the first few moments here to kind of bring awareness through any sensations that are coming up in your body. And wherever possible, s- softening and releasing, again, any of those areas of tension. We're going to do a little guided meditation today. And so, right now you're aware of your body, you're aware of your breathing, feeling the ribs expand and relax with each cycle of breath that you take. And now, see if you can just imagine for a moment standing in the street outside of your house. And in your hands, you have two heavy suitcases. And as you see yourself standing outside of your house with these two heavy suitcases, know that one of those suitcases is full of worries about the future, whatever they might be. And the other suitcase, know that it is full of regrets about the past. And so you just take a moment standing there in the street holding these two really heavy suitcases and reflect about each one. Reflect about the future, about how the future will come on its own accord whenever it comes. And know that a lot of what we worry about never truly manifests. We fill up our mind space with anxiety. And a lot of times those ancient anxious thoughts, they don't make their way into reality. But just like this heavy suitcase, they weigh you down energetically, emotionally. And then you notice the other suitcase, the suitcase that is about the past, and you just take a moment to reflect on the past, the other heavy suitcase. We all have regrets or things that perhaps we wish we had done differently. And one of the ways I like to look at it is, instead of having regret over wishing something were done differently, having gratitude for the fact that we were able to learn from that and be a better you in the moment that you're in today. You consider how the past, it can't be altered or changed. And all we can do is be in the present and put in whatever corrections make sense, become more skillful, more loving, and move on, right? You learn and you move on. And you thank that part of your life for being there so that you could improve. And so you're standing there in the street and you're feeling this enormous weight of these suitcases. And at the same time, you're absorbing the wisdom of your own reflections that you're having right now. And with those reflections, you choose to make a conscious decision. Do you want to drop the suitcase of worry about the future? And if so, see in your mind's eye that you simply just drop that suitcase. Just simply drop it. Let it fall right out of your hand and crash onto the ground. And then standing there in the street, and you're holding this other suitcase in your hand, so heavy about the past. And you make another conscious decision. Do you want to drop this heavy suitcase of worry and regrets about the past? And if you want to drop it, then simply drop it. Watch as it falls out of the clasp of your grip and crashes onto the ground. Just drop it. And as soon as you've dropped the two suitcases in your mind, you see yourself walking back into your home. And you take a seat or a rest right where you are in this moment in reality. And you plop down and you feel so light and so relaxed and so free. That freedom is so palpable. Like someone coming home from a long trip and just dropping suitcases and just letting go. And feeling powerful here in this present moment, breathing and resting in this natural well being. You feel empowered, you feel capable, you feel brave, and you know that you are enough, that you are everything and you have within you everything you need to fill your cup. You just have to tap into it. And right now, just kind of resting in the fundamental well being of awareness itself, being aware, right? And awareness is, it does not worry, it doesn't regret. It's just resting as if this is a meaningful moment for you. And as you allow yourself to rest, feeling a sense of peace and a sense of joy and a sense of release. And this natural peace, it's always your true home. And without carrying heavy suitcases of worries and regrets, then you can rest in your body and completely give in to relaxation throughout your body and throughout your mind. And I'll also say that our suitcase will inevitably fill back up. And when it does, you you come back to the moment today where you let go and you dropped it. And you can always come back to this meditation. You can do it on your own. I will put it on my YouTube channel that I created for you guys. And I will put chair yoga class suitcase meditation. So it's easy for you to find if you did find that this was beneficial or helpful for you in any way. And so now it is time to come back. Always remember, if you don't want to come back, ignore what I say and just stay in your kind of happy space. You are coming back, then you'll start to wiggle the fingers and the toes and just bring some movement into your physical body. Maybe notice the breathing again and which nostril is dominant. And eventually stretching and making your way back. Thank you guys for coming. Thank you for trusting me to guide you. Know that I love you. You are loved. You are beautiful. You are enough. And can't wait to see you all again. So, peaceful thoughts, peaceful words, peaceful intentions. Namaste.